Hi everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. So we're here this evening to have a cooking demonstration with the chef and the naturopath or the nutritionist, and we're going to have lots of fun. So just want to check in. We've got the camera slightly away. You're on the other side of the counter, so I just want to make sure all of you can see and hear again. And I actually can't see the chat box, so I've got to.
Because you're so far away, but we wanted you to be able to see the food and our heads at the same time. So we put you further away.
Yeah, it's a little dark. That's because it's not professional lighting, but hopefully you can bear with us.
We bring it forward a tiny bit this way, maybe the light will be better for them.
Well done, because it's the light's behind us. So we'll stand back here.
We can't. We're sorry.
Anyway, I'd like to welcome you all tonight to our live cooking demonstration and give you a bit of context. Kate is going to do some fantastic teaching tonight on using essential oils in cooking, but it's in the context of healthy eating plan, healthy food, and being in the kitchen. I think something not so great happened in the 70s when we were told to get out of the kitchen, because I think it's our power place. It's where we look after ourselves with great food. We look after our family. We have the power to make the choice about what we eat, what's in our food. So it's time for a revolution.
Get back in that kitchen. Can you all see the food on the counter? Kind of, like out here? Like right now?
Yep, they can.
Great, okay.
So with that in mind, we're going to show you some nutritious, beautiful tasting food enhanced with the magic and power of essential oils.
And you know which ones.
Kate is going to use the oils from the Culinary kit, particularly the Culinary starter kit.
It's back here, you can't really see it. But I have it up there, but you didn't. So.
And demonstrate some techniques for using the oils in your own food at home. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name's Brenda Rogers. I'm the training manager with Young Living. And I have with me beautiful Kate McAloon, who's known as Chef Kate, Chef to the Stars, and she'll share with you, I'm sure, a little bit about that as well. So please, over to you, Kate.
Well, thank you. So are you all excited? We can't see that you say yes, but I'm sure somebody's going to say yes.
I can see.
Great. I'm going to maybe put on my glasses. So here we go. I don't usually cook with my glasses on, but I'd like to be able to see what I'm doing. So the first thing we're going to make is a smoothie, my berry smoothie. All the recipes are coming from my book today. So if you've got it or going to get it, you will have the recipes. And the smoothie is really great because I like to use any of the citrus oils, like orange, or you probably can't see, but citrus fresh, lemon, lime, jade. I didn't put lime, that one's jade lemon. I'm going to show you how to do the dropper bottle with it. I've got a few techniques. Maybe I should mention those now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm adding a couple of pages to my book. That's our rough draft for my second edition. It's going to be a hardcover, and we're hoping to have it out for Christmas. So I've got straight from the bottle, the spoon method. I should probably be showing you, but I'll show you as we go where you drop it in the spoon. Toothpick, which you all know of, but you can also do the dropper bottle and put a little bit of olive oil and or well, I guess if you wanted to melt butter, you could do that, but I think olive oil is better. Oh wait, or you can do it neat. This is a pretty big bottle, so we don't have it all full of oil today, but you can just do a little bit, so it's easy. And then you can dip toothpicks in it. But we didn't have a smaller bottle, so that's what we've got for tonight's dinner. Then there's stirring into a dish. That's one of my finishing techniques. Drizzling on food, spraying on food, which we didn't get a spray bottle yet because I wanted a glass one, and it was just really rushed to find one, and brushing it on food. So, are there any questions about that yet?
Now I'll have a look.
Okay.
Let's get started, I think.
I think so. So we're making a smoothie. We're going to use some coconut milk or any kind of milk you like to use. Okay.
Coconut milk?
Yes, it
coconut
is.
cream.
But coconut milk or coconut cream, almond milk, sunflower seed milk, any milk you want to use.
So some people benefit from from being dairy-free. It's something that in clinic I'll recommend to somebody that perhaps who has hormonal issues, particularly endometriosis, PCOS, any of those types of conditions, to go dairy-free. Also adult acne, absolutely dairy-free. So
that was yogurt. It could be coconut yogurt.
Yeah.
So, and everything's organic basically. Got some banana. Could be frozen raspberries since it's a berry one, and some strawberries. So I'm not wearing an apron today, so we'll just cover that.
It's a great way to start the day. Smoothies.
You could put, there's one little trick I like to do sometimes with a leftover smoothie. I'll pour it in ice cube trays, and then I use it to chill my smoothie. I just put it back in. So I keep them in, the freezer.
Mm. You can make ice blocks.
Yeah, I've got the little thing.
Yeah.
You can also, pour it in these.
Ice blocks for the kids.
So we're going to add a little bit of citrus oil. So this one's straight from the bottle. So there is a way to do the oil, and there's a line, nice still. So you can see, I think a lot of you know that already. So I can see, in my book it says 1 to 2 drops. Start with that. But I know this will take more than that. But I don't want people to put in 10 drops of something and not be able to eat it. So.
And what made you choose citrus with this
because
mix?
You could maybe do lemon myrtle or bergamot. I've tried different things, but the citruses really work well with it. It pops the flavors. And even with a little bit of mint in the citrus fresh, it's really delicious. So I'll put a couple of drops of that too. Or we could do the other method, which would have been, it's in this bottle. We open it up and we squeeze in a drop or two so you can see. There we go.
So if you were doing a chocolate smoothie with raw cacao powder,
yeah,
then you would use
cinnamon or cardamom is one of my favorites now. We're going to be making a turmeric latte next. But cardamom, I love it. That's not in the starter kit, but it's a really great one to do. Okay, so a couple of citrus fresh. And then you blend, you taste, you add more. If it's too strong for some reason because you added too much, you add a little more milk and a little more fruit. So, cooking is supposed to be fun. It's not a science. Well, baking is a science. Can you hear us? He's going to say yes. We'll do. Okay. Can I have a bit of noise?
Yeah.
You want that glasses? Taste. Don't double dip, but I'm definitely going to taste this to see how we did. It's really good, except I would probably, because I have a sweet tooth, it's the Young Living's agave, just a drop.
Agave?
Yeah. To taste.
The other thing I like about smoothies is that you can put your mineral essence in the morning and you don't even taste it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I do it every morning.
I take longevity. I'm going to be here a while. I hope. There we go. Easy as that. You can add any protein powders, like Young Living's. They've got, balance, complete. Yum. Don't you wish? We'll give you a glass there.
Unfortunately, we can't. I mean, you should smell my kitchen. It's absolutely divine. Kate's been baking for last night. We were baking and preparing, and tonight we're baking. I can smell these aromas of beautiful baked chicken.
Maybe we should tell you the menu right now. Smoothies,
Cheers.
Turmeric latte, pumpkin pie soup, which is one of my specialties, and I make it with cinnamon bark oil, hummus, and Brenda loves basil, so we're doing basil oil, and a little spinach. And then we've got a roast chicken. And a crumble, and maybe a salad dressing, depends on time. Okay. So
that's fantastic, Kate.
Good. And again, we can ask if there's any questions out there, just while I'm setting up the next blender.
I'll check.
Cool. The next one we do, we'll probably have a bigger setup. Okay. Everybody cool?
Yeah, my apologies about the lighting. We are not in a professional kitchen, so hopefully you can see us okay.
How about if we turn it a bit here so I can show them the next thing?
Yeah.
because the cord's not long enough, but hey. This just shows anybody can do this. Okay, so I've got a blender here, another one, second blender. So we didn't have to wash the first one, really. And again, we're using coconut, but you could use any kind of milk you like.
What are we making?
We are making that turmeric latte.
Oh,
and
cool.
then we're going to heat it and drink it. So basically this is enough for two, actually, or 1.5 probably. And I want it to be, the reason I put it in the blender first, you don't have to, but it gets all frothy like a real latte or cappuccino. I also do that with a chocolate drink that's in there. It's a hot chocolate drink, and you can make it really foamy. So then, and one thing about turmeric is you're supposed to activate it with like coconut oil and black pepper. So we're going to use black pepper oil to activate it. So
turmeric has been researched hugely. There's lots and lots of research around turmeric and its anti-inflammatory action, antioxidant action, even for some people anti-cancer action. So turmeric is so popular as a natural remedy, especially for inflammation these days. But the problem with eating it is, or taking it as a powder, is that it's not very bioavailable. So actually the Indians knew how to do it. They had it with coconut, cooked with ghee or some kind of fat. So the powder needs to be with some kind of fat. And the black pepper seems to enhance the effects as well. So we're doing it with coconut cream and black pepper oil.
Yes, and again, some more agave, because we have it, because it's young living. But you can use maple syrup or any sweetener.
But also the turmeric lattes have become very ultra cool and trendy as well. So if you haven't tried one, I do recommend that you give it a go.
And I have beetroot powder, organic beetroot powder from something I did. So you make pink ones, and they're making green ones, and I make blue ones with algae. There's a certified organic blue magic algae, so you can make it and then add things to it. So you make there's even a purple one now, like a taro. So it's kind of a trend. It's
something to have instead of coffee. If you're trying to reduce your coffee, then it's a good substitute.
So we're going to do the spoon method. So that way you can see what you've got. So I'm going to put 1 drop. Cardamon's really strong. If I get 2 drops, but I did. I only got 1. And then you probably should use 3 spoons, but I'm pretty good at this, we hope. I think we could 1 to 2 drops of black pepper, but again, to taste. And then I'd like to put a little ginger just for a little oomph. So ginger's pretty strong.
Yeah.
So let's do the toothpick on ginger. So I'm just going to put the spoon and actually just do that with it, then I'll do the blender. And it basically comes completely off the spoon. Sorry, you can't see that especially.
So you use the spoon to make sure that you don't get too much in there.
Right, and if you want to use more spoons, we've used all the spoons in the house today, and we've got them out all the time.
We use every dish in the house, I can tell you.
And put your lids right back on because things evaporate. And it's really good, like I did. I knew which lid went to which oil, because you don't want to mix them up. So, and that's black pepper. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so we're going to whip that up for you, and you'll see how frothy it gets.
They're all very warming.
Yes, they are.
They must be lovely in winter and in autumn.
You could do a chilled one too.
Oh, yeah?
So it's really yummy. Yeah. I'd probably use almond milk for that because sometimes the coconut milk.
Yeah, it gets harder.
Sorry, just in case.
Noise.
How do you use your blender?
The one, yeah, this one. It has to be switched on.
It unplugged itself. Technical difficulties.
Okay. Yeah, it's on there. No, you have to.
Here we go. And again, I would taste it and see what you need to add. And if you want it a little stronger, add more oils. A little orange is amazing with turmeric too. I like it with beet also. Yeah, you could, what else could you put? Well, I wouldn't put any citrus because I've already got all the warming ones. Yum. So, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's thick and yummy, and I'll pour it. Oh, it's just boiling. Oh, there we go. So you can kind of see. Just pour it in.
It's golden yellow.
Yeah.
Hard to see in this light, but it's like whipped butter.
And you can put more turmeric if you like it. Again, it's to taste.
How much did you put in?
I put in about a heaping teaspoon. And this is not a recipe in my book, but it's really easy, so you can do it. Okay. Do you feel like you're learning something?
And check for questions.
And feedback. We'd love some feedback.
So the recipe again for the turmeric latte.
So per person, if whatever your coffee cup size would be, I guess, fill that up with your liquid, put it in your blender, and then probably a teaspoon per person, unless you like more turmeric in it, and then a drop of, where'd they go again? A drop of the cardamom, a drop of the ginger, or a little less. You could do toothpick with that, but if you like it, put in more, and black pepper. I've actually done it where I've had 4 or 5 drops by accident, and I drank it anyway, but it's better with 1 to 2, because I don't want to waste my oils. And I've also done too many cardamom, so I've been testing all this to see how it all works out. But I usually still eat it. Okay. So now, how are we going to do this?
What's next?
Could we lean it towards us just a tiny bit?
Yeah.
Let's see if that helps. Okay, I can get shorter. Okay, so we've got...
Next on the menu is...
the pumpkin pie soup. You probably can't see it all. Okay, so I made that ahead of time. It's pumpkin, again, coconut, but it could be any liquid you like. You could even use vegetable stock, but it's not going to be as rich. Again, it's a recipe in the book. It basically has 5 ingredients: the milk, the cooked pumpkin, cinnamon, salt, and a sweetener. So I did sweeten it because I want it to taste like a pumpkin pie. And then I'm going to finish. So I've taken it off the heat. It's cooled just a little bit. I don't really like to cook the oils, but I do sometimes to intensify the flavors. However, I also then will finish with the oil, is what I call finishing with an oil. I made that up, so a point of difference. And I put it in at the end right before I serve it.
So explain to me when you put the oil during or before you're cooking, like when would you do that?
So like the chicken already has lemon oil and things on it, but when I take it out, we're going to do one of the drizzling methods to just add vibrancy again. So it intensifies the flavors and everything when you cook with it. I could have already put cinnamon, but I also want to put, I feel like they're kind of living, alive oils, so I'd like them not to be cooked at the end, so I add a little bit more, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you guys? Nobody's.
Well, you're layering, aren't you? You're adding it. Some of the vibrancy is lost with the heat,
yes,
but there's still flavour.
Yes, there is.
And then you're adding the zing and the vitality and the vibrancy at the end with another layer of the oil. Same oil, I imagine. Yes,
the same oil.
Yeah.
And like there's thyme on the chicken, but it could have been rosemary, could have been, if you wanted, basil or tarragon. So there's several oils that go really well. A lot of them go well with chicken.
Yeah.
Or if you're a vegetarian, tofu, or if you eat soy. But anyway, there are also a lot of vegetarian recipes too. So.
And everyone loves pumpkin soup. It's one of those heartwarming go-to meals that is great for a light meal. It's great for lunch with a salad, a winter salad. We tend to have soups more in winter, but pumpkin soup's even something that's quite nice in autumn and spring as well.
And they make pumpkin lattes too. So basically, if you thin that down, it'd be a pumpkin latte. So I would just add more milk.
I've also made smoothies out of
me too.
Pumpkin pie. But also the pumpkin itself being a very bright coloured vegetable has a lot of therapeutic benefit as well. So there's vitamin A or beta carotene and fibre and flavour. It's beautiful and nutritious as well as being comforting.
So what we're going to do is put this in some, I'll burn my hand. So we'll just do this so you can see the color. And then we'll finish in that container. There we go.
Beautiful.
So Really easy. Take the lid off. Grab a toothpick, fresh each time. You don't double dip into your oils once they've had food on them. You don't double dip your spoon into your things. So you pop the toothpick inside, get some oil on it. My bottle's full, but if it's not, I guess you could go like that. So, Scott, okay. One more time. And then we just stir it in. And then I take a bigger spoon and do that.
So it's not even a drop you're kneading.
No, but this I already know. I just wanted to show that technique, but I know this can take 2 drops of cinnamon, so
it's
I'm
really,
going to do that because I've done it before.
the oil is being soaked up into the wood, and that's enough for some oils.
Especially like oregano. That one is really, really strong. And I've gotten it neat on my lips before because, you know, anyway, by accident. It hurts. So you stir that in. And you want to make sure, cinnamon's a really hot oil. One day I spilled it and I didn't want to waste it. And anyway, I got it all over my face. It's a really hot oil. It didn't hurt me, but it's not a good idea. So just be really careful when you're using the oils, especially some of the hotter, like oregano and cinnamon, black pepper. You know, just treat them with respect. There's a question.
Just comments about the name of your book, The Flavor of Joy, and somebody's lost some sound, but we're still here, so stay with us.
So it's The Flavor of Joy, and it can be found on theflavorofjoy.com. I've sold all of them, so except these 2, and it's in the 2nd edition, going to be hardcover. Every recipe now will have oils, and there's 2 new pages plus some other that talks about the techniques, how to use the oils. And I'm pre-sailing it, so that'd be great, so I can print it. Okay.
All right, what are we up to?
We are up to the pumpkin soup, which is really hot if you're going to try to taste it.
I love to taste it. You've used all the spoon.
I know. Well, this one's actually clean. That came from the pumpkin, so there you go. So try that. And I would probably even put another drop of cinnamon because I really like it, but for most people, that'd be too strong.
Oh my, that's
delicious, and you really get it on double dip. I think we had another little bleep on the screen. Perfect. So that's that. Got the smoothies. I was going to finish with a little bit of pumpkin seeds. Woo! Oops, they disappeared. Okay.
Well, I don't have a microwave in my house, so
Me neither.
I can store things in jars because I'm not going to heat them up in the microwave, but that's a great thing to take for, once it's cool, to take to work. I think taking your lunch to work, healthy foods, is a fantastic habit to get into because then you're likely to have foods that are more nutritious, because typically what you get at restaurants or cafes has bread in it, and it's great to have at least 3 or 4 days a week where you don't have bread. And
bad oils, and I don't even mean our kind of oils, I mean just bad oils.
Vegetable oils, which we want to avoid. So that's, and I make my pumpkin soup. Can I share?
Yes, absolutely.
I make my pumpkin soup with broth, rather, and sometimes I'll make a Thai.
Yes, exactly. Lemongrass is excellent. You could do everything we did in the latte in there. It's just a base. You know, you don't have to sweeten it, but you can.
So for a Thai one, you could use lemongrass,
coriander, lemongrass, black pepper.
Yeah. And so I make mine with broth, and it's no sweetener. That's just a different experience. And it's a staple in our house. It's just, everyone loves it. So here we go.
And being American, I made a pumpkin pie soup, actually because Pa Kerr, Miranda Kerr's grandfather, brought, when I was staying about 7 months, I lived with their family, not Miranda, but the parents, Therese and Johnny and everything, up in Bayview, up in the northern beaches of Sydney. And he brought, one day I looked out the door, there were probably 40 pumpkins just from Gunnedah that he'd grown sitting on the back door. So I make pumpkin pancakes, pumpkin soup, pumpkin curry. We ate so much pumpkin. So, and you can freeze this too once it's cool. You can just, I would probably cover it with baking paper and then maybe a little bit of foil and then put a lid on it after it was totally frozen so it doesn't break when it's cool. And then you could easily take that to work and let it thaw, you know, the night before, take it out. You've got your soups. Freezers are underused things. They're usually full of stuff. Okay, so what are we making next? Hummus. Okay, let's see how far we can get this over.
Hummus is a great snack because it's gluten-free, naturally gluten-free, dairy-free, and you can flavor it in so many different ways, so you never get tired of it. You can have some rice crackers with it. We've got carrot sticks and cucumber slices.
It was a favorite of my clients, and I started using cucumber slices instead of crackers a lot of the time because that's what they wanted. And put my glasses back on so I can play.
Well, it's another way to eat more vegetables.
Exactly.
I'm always trying to find ways to eat more vegetables. So if you can snack on them rather than having, well, we get a bit bored with nuts and fruit for morning tea if you are a morning tea person. So hummus is a great alternative.
So I've already made the hummus. Actually, I used canned garbanzo chickpeas, but you can do your own. And there's some tahini in here. I've also got the recipe there, but we're going to put the green, like the basil and the spinach and things here in front of you. So, but having a base, you can even freeze a hummus once you've done that and use it for fillings for sandwiches.
Yeah.
So we'll just put it in my little old food processor somebody gave me.
Do you like garlic?
Yeah, I love garlic in it, actually. I do.
I love it too.
What I do, I tend to, if I don't know what the people are going to like when I'm cooking for a client, I always ask for a list, but if they have guests, I kind of wait to put some of the things in people might be allergic to. And then I'll put it in, I'll ask when people are having company. Once I know, yes, garlic. I have a friend that can't eat garlic or onions, so, you know, I leave it out. So that's actually 2 cans, but you could use 1 can. So it's already made.
Super easy to make. Super, super easy.
Some basil. Do you mind if I put parsley too?
Yeah, it's fine.
The greener the better. Like to cut.
All that chlorophyll and...
So basically you just cut some off, or you can do a chopping board, but it's really easy. Don't cut yourself, be careful. There's my disclaimer. I've got delicious mint too, but you want it to taste more like basil.
I do, I want it to be basil hummus. Because I love pesto, I love basil, I love...
Basil's great. Basil?
Just divine.
I might need, let's see what happens with this. Okay, and we've got, I'd like to put a little bit of lemon oil too, because lemon goes great with it. Got my lemon there. So lemon, I've already got fresh squeezed lemon in here. Probably gonna put more when I taste. So what method should we show you? Stirring in. Oh. Okay, I drop some in there.
You can be quite free with the
citrus
lemon.
ones. Yeah, the citrus ones you can do more with. And then the basil it's definitely a stronger one, so it has a different taste. It really adds a different depth compared to the fresh basil.
It reminds me of raindrop. Yes, we use it in raindrop technique, of course.
Yes, exactly. So does my friend Jewel, and I know you're out there. And hi, Polly. I don't know who else is out there, but I know a couple of people are listening. Is that okay to say? Okay, so we've got a spoon again, and I'm going to, yeah, I think that's a good way to do it.
It's another potent one, the basil.
It is, so I think we only need 1, and then we need to taste it. And there is, okay, so I've got 1 in there. I'm just gonna kind of dip that around. Probably use my God-given hand there, because I have kept it clean. But you can use
worry,
we
all do it, we all do it.
And then we'll just redo this.
I love a food processor.
I'm really good with them. It's a great way to get kids to eat their greens. I just put in, you know, you could put in a whole giant package of spinach.
Yeah.
And they'll eat it usually with vegetables and things like that. So.
Let me see if there's any questions.
I need to taste that and see how that came up. Any feedback?
How much tahini with a tin of chickpeas?
A teaspoon to a tablespoon.
Yeah.
I was generous.
Yeah, I think a bit more.
Mm.
Tends towards the tablespoon, that's what I do, and quite a bit of lemon.
I would probably put one more, but you can really taste the basil in there. Not just the fresh. The fresh was kind of a filler. You can really get that. You can tell that's in there, and it's really nice.
That's so much better.
It doesn't need another drop. One drop of that, and then test. So that's one drop to probably 2 cans. And it could take one more, but you have to try it yourself because it is one of the stronger oils. Okay, so I'm going to finish blending this for a second so we can eat it. I know a lot of you have Thermomixes. You can definitely do it in there. When I did it at my friend Natasha's when we did the workshops in Melbourne, it took me 2 seconds to break it somehow. So I'm back to, we got it fixed. But I'm back to my trusty food processor.
Well, and adding flavour, another way of enhancing flavour or an application that I've learned about recently, one of the members, the Young Living members, has a customer who's a caterer and provides meals for the disabled and the elderly. And some of those meals are liquefied. And of course, with liquefied meals, you can't use things like rosemary because rosemary is quite a woody herb.
Yes.
And so the results they were getting, the elderly and their customers actually eating their meals and enjoying their meals was amazing because they were using rosemary and black pepper and so on in the dishes.
And they were enhancing the flavor. They actually had something that tastes good.
Especially some people can't have salt either for some reason.
Right.
And one of the ways that us nutritionists help people to reduce their salt intake is to add more flavour in other ways, add herbs, or in our case, add the oils. And then there's less need for the salt because salt being a flavour enhancer, less is required because we're flavouring it with other flavours. So keep that in mind if you have an elderly parent or a disabled person who's limited to liquid meals, then you've got this whole array of resources to help them enjoy their meals more.
There's a soup I do, like it's called broccoli stem soup. And it's basically you just peel the broccoli stems because you don't want to throw them away if they're organic. Should be organic, broccoli's on the dirty dozen. And you just kind of either steam it or put it in a little broth and then whip it up in the blender. So you can easily add a couple of oils to give it flavor and do that with broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, any of them.
What do you add to cauliflower? Cauliflower soup's one of my favourites.
Cardamom would be great. Ginger would be yummy. It's basically kind of neutral, so you can add almost citrus.
Yeah, I have parmesan cheese.
Yeah. Do we have any? Okay, so let's see. We're doing pretty good on time here. Shall we show them the chicken?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to get that out of the oven. We have been roasting it for you.
Oh. Voila.
Ooh la
Here's
la.
one I prepared earlier.
It is. So what technique? You could do the drizzle, you could do either. And so, what I think, we're so funny. Got our thieves cleaner. We're going to do that on the, there we go. So, what I discovered just now is instead of having to use more olive oil or something, which I would say for drizzling, so basically you mix a couple of tablespoons of olive oil and then you put your oil in there because you're going to want to kind of drizzle it on or brush it on. But look down here. Yeah. There's all this juice. So you could actually just get some of that and mix it together. That's the best part anyway. Oh, yeah, very hot. So I'm just going to do that. Or you could use olive oil, butter, coconut oil that's melted. And for this, we're going to use thyme and lemon, because I've already got lemon in there. So you could use a spoon to put the lemon in, but I'd like a couple of drops. I've already got lemon all over the chicken and some thyme. And there's thyme underneath the skin. I actually took the time.
Fresh thyme.
Put fresh thyme.
Yeah.
And then we've got fresh thyme. I wish you could see that. We're going to get a camera.
And it's an organic chicken because personally, I invest in organic chickens. I know they're quite expensive.
Inglewood Organic Chicken is the cleanest chicken. I am an ambassador for them too. It's the best.
Yeah, they are great. And Cole sells Inglewood chickens.
They do.
And also eggs. Eggs are another...
and they come from chickens.
They come from chickens, but I think it's worth investing in organic eggs as well, just because, well, from a heart perspective, you're looking after chickens instead of supporting the battery hens, you're supporting the organic free-range chickens. And there is a difference between free-range and organic, by the way. So
huge difference.
The organic chickens, what they eat is very well controlled as well. For example, we have an issue with arsenic in non-organic chickens, and that's because of what they put into their feed to help with to deal with the worms. It's not in organic chickens, but it is in free range or regular normal chickens. So
and bleach and chlorine. There's so much. When I went on tour with Inglewood for about 3.5 months, and I learned so much. Been to the farm, it's very clean compared to even other organic brands.
Wow.
So I have to say that very much.
So regardless, I think it's important to, and it is a bit of investment, but I think it's a worthwhile investment with organic chicken and eggs.
So thyme is one of those oils that you should do the toothpick. But I think we can get away with 1 drop on this, but I'm still just going to do the toothpick because I don't want to ruin the chicken that we want to eat after we get done with this call. I'm really looking forward to that. So getting that on there. And I'm going to just swirl it around in the oil I have in the bottom.
That's great.
Yeah, so I know that it's gotten in there. So there you go, everybody. I'm just kind of swirling the toothpick in there. So it smells like thyme. And basically, I would either take a spoon and drizzle like so on it. You could use a dropper bottle. That would be kind of silly to fill it up and have to wash it because it does have chicken juice or whatever. Or, there it is, our pastry brush. And you're basting it as you go, so you could actually have that already mixed up too and baste it. There you go. And you can smell the thyme. You can smell it coming up more.
Oh yeah.
You're just dumping
I
it
can
on
smell
now.
the lemon. Oh, it's like lemon chicken. It's beautiful. But when you cook the oil, some of the properties are lost. That's definitely true. However, that if you have the oils then with the finishing, then you're regaining those properties as well as the flavor. So win-win.
It is, and some of the oils, marjoram, thyme, and a few of the woody ones actually benefit to mellow the flavors, but then just a little bit to finish again. Benefit when you cook them, actually, which I'm learning.
Yeah, you mean they're too strong?
Yes.
Otherwise,
yes.
Cooking them just mellows the flavor.
Mellows them out, and then to finish, you use just a little bit, like we did. Otherwise, you would have started with a couple.
So I saw a recipe for, I think it was Pauline had a recipe for sweet potato baked. I think it might have had cinnamon in it as well.
Yeah.
That would be nice with baked chicken.
It would. And you could, in a bigger dish, we actually had roast chicken last night too, but you could put all your root vegetables around it and just roast it. I start the chicken really high, so you would keep the root vegetables out. I started like at 225 to 250 just for about 15 minutes to really get it crispy. And then I turned the oven down to about 180, and then you could put your vegetables around it that are already cut, prepared, done in some oil, salt, and pepper, and a little bit of oil like lemon, just a little bit of thyme in the vegetables too, and just put it around, pop it back in the oven. And then I'll usually put a little baking paper over to make sure this doesn't, I don't seal it, but I just keep it from getting too brown. Because look, it's perfect color. And there's tamari in there too. So if you're soy sensitive, don't use it. But we did a little bit of tamari.
Use something else.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you're aware, but the old low-fat concept is
wrong.
Dying. It's wrong.
Well,
so the good news is you can eat the skin.
Oh, it's my favorite part. I'm so wanting to eat that right now. So we're going to just take this away.
So fats are only bad if they're the wrong kind of fats. So typically we learned that saturated fats were bad fats and vegetable fats or unsaturated fats were the good fats. That's all changed. It's all wrong. So I can't explain everything about it now, but if you're interested and if you're wanting to increase your healthy fats in your diet, then Google it and have a look online. But a little bit of saturated fat is actually very important. Saturated fats have fatty acids in them that don't come from other sources. They're also important for example, gut health. So some of the fatty acids in butter and coconut oil, which is saturated, actually benefit our gut health. So we can eat fat.
Yeah, I do. So I have some crumbles that I just baked, but we're also, if we have time, I think we do. We already put time in the chicken, but if we have time, I can make the recipe in front of you if you like. Would you guys like to see how to make the crumble now? Did somebody say no? Okay, so there's that.
Can you see that?
Get my glasses.
Oh, look, they've gone.
Yes, please, and yes. Okay. We can even see. Okay, you guys, I'm going to do it now. Do you know what a glass container is? The clear glass
in
container.
the fridge still?
No, it's empty. And the bigger one to put the there we go. Okay. So I've already prepared some apples earlier. Magic the TV.
This one?
No. The one that the spinach was in last night. I'm going to use it for the baking dish. It's glass. I'm sure it got put away. If it didn't, well, we need something to make it into. Okay.
Yeah, a big bowl, you mean?
No, I need something like a baking. You have a glass baking dish. We are very money. Okay, it's in the dishwasher. Okay. Sorry, gang. Do you have another one?
I've got this one.
That's perfect. That's what I need, a baking dish. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, she is using every dish in my kitchen.
Okay, so let's see. Mixing bowl. So the recipe again is in here. And actually when you put berries on it.
Do you put the oil in the berries as well as in the crumble?
I did. So I've got lemon oil in the apple berry mixture. And let me just show you a picture. When you dress it up with fresh berries. Can you see that?
It's a bit dark.
I know, I'm so sorry. It's kind of like amateur. So we will use some oats. If you're gluten sensitive, don't use oats. So, or a substitute. You could use quinoa flakes. They're a little bitter. What else? Coconut flour.
Yeah.
But I've given alternatives in the recipes.
Yeah.
So I've got oats. Rice flakes are okay too. Actually, they're like not a cereal, but they're a little more crunchy. So they need a little more. I still use coconut milk again, but you can use almond milk. There's recipes for that in there. So coconut. I'm not giving the measurements because last night when I was doing all the prepping, I just put them in there because I knew it would be about a cup. So I've got coconut and oats. I actually use 3 different shapes of coconut, like pieces and desiccated and shredded. Almond meal. It could be cashews, any nuts, hazelnuts,
yeah,
macadamia nut, or a mixture of all the nuts. Nut sensitive, use pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds ground up instead, or skip it all together.
Beautiful fats there, healthy fats.
Really good fats. It's going to be a lot of crumble topping.
She says a good chef uses all the dishes in the house.
They do.
Especially if the husband is doing the dishes.
So I've got a little bit of gluten-free flour. You can use it or not use it. Sometimes you could use corn flour, only organic. Corn, organic.
Yeah, don't use too much of the gluten-free flour because it's processed.
Yes. So,
pretty highly processed.
So there's alternate, coconut flour, but there's banana flour.
I have ground my oats, and that makes a finer crumble. That's nice too. Yeah.
Okay, so this is coconut sugar. And, of course, we're going to use a little more of that. And we have some melted butter back here. We're going to use. You can use melted coconut oil. I didn't, because I like butter like Julia Charles, bon appetit. So my
I
agave
like
for
butter
sweetening.
too. I'm a real fan of butter.
It's also good to have the moisture of that.
That's
and
a
then,
lot of sugar.
yeah, I know. So you can do it to taste. It's probably too much sugar.
You are a sweet tooth.
Yeah. Okay, is this coconut? Yeah. Okay. So I need a little bit of moisture, and I'm using coconut cream. Again, it could be apple juice. I forgot the letter. Okay, there we go.
It's not the same without butter.
And I like in my baking or anything, a pinch of salt.
What does that do?
It brings the flavors up.
Yeah.
So this is going to get a little bit of cinnamon.
Let me tell everyone about this little. One of the members gave me this over the weekend. They had it made. You can't see it. I can barely see it. But on this shot glass is I can't even see it.
Keep calm.
Keep calm. And keep calm with liquid joy. Thank you. Keep calm with liquid joy, because that's your ninja shot glass. Ninja.
I call them ninjas too. They're the little healthy guys inside you. A little bit of vanilla. Yes, I'm just doing it, but
Well, chefs don't measure right.
in my original cookbook, not edition 2, is it the pumpkin? One of the recipes says vanilla 58. We have no idea how the word 58 got after the word vanilla. So if you're all thinking it's a special kind of vanilla out there who have my book, it's just not.
It's a typo.
We really laughed really hard when we found out the other day. We don't know why it's there, but there are a few typos in the first edition. There's always going to be, but we have rectified, we hope, most of them. So this is apples already cut. There were raspberries put with it. That's why it's a little pink. I've already put some agave. And
Lemon oil.
yes, I put lemon oil.
Yeah.
I did, and a little bit of coconut, or it could be apple juice again, a little bit of coconut milk. I need the moisture so that it adds a little when that's on top of it. There's a question. And then the raspberries are going to go straight into here. Extra.
Where do they buy your second edition? Or pre-buy?
Yeah, so right now I'm raising funds to print the second edition, and it's theflavorofjoy.com. So it's up there for pre-sale now on my site. So thank you. And I just got a couple of samples sent to me that I get to see tomorrow. So very, very soon. And I finished the oil pages just the other day. The two we're working off of. So I'm going to run that by a few more people to see how it sounds exactly. And we already discovered we needed to move something, one of the tips. So, and you could also do a spray bottle with oil in it. So that's what we didn't do.
What kind of spray bottle?
I would, like I said, prefer
Glass.
glass because oil's in glass, but I see if you can find it and then just with a little spray. And one of the ways is some oil in there and then a couple of drops of oil, and then some will finish it with distilled water.
Yeah.
Because
You
you
have
can
to look
easily
out
spray
to
it.
find one of those.
I think we will. Maybe there'll be one
I
living
think
site pretty soon.
You can buy them at newdirections.com.au. They have them on some little serum box.
Okay.
But usually you buy them bulk, so.
Okay. Well, maybe that will be available, labeled and branded.
Yeah.
So there we go. So that's the filling.
Smells great.
And I think another drop of lemon could go in there. It's not going to hurt it at all. More drops. And then I serve it with a yogurt or an ice cream or a non-dairy thing, and you could actually put some more lemon oil in that if you like. So that's got the lemon oil. The crumble topping will have cinnamon. And just a drop or so. So I'm going to drop this on the back of the spoon so I can control it. Just so I can see. But again, you should use a spoon. A couple of drops, maybe someday. You have to get it right, and everybody knows there's a line somewhere, and sometimes I can't find it no matter what I do. I'm just going to kind of rub that on there. But if you put it on a spoon, you could, because I want to get it all mixed through. You don't want one big bite of cinnamon oil. There's a question again, I think. And we've got about 4 minutes, so we're going to put the topping on here.
Oh, there's your web. Someone put your web.
Oh, thank you. So I'll let you just evenly kind of, it doesn't really matter. You can even use your hands almost done. because I'm thinking. If you guys want to ask Brenda any questions, I'm going to.
You going to bake this?
Yes, we will bake that. But we won't put it in until we're done because the oven makes a big sound. So I didn't put soap in the blender. All it had in it was a coconut milk and stuff. I'd like to quickly show you how to make the salad dressing.
I'm just going to show them.
So
this is the.
There you go. It's
beautiful.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
180 oven for a while.
Until it's golden brown.
Oh,
eat in moderation, because if you have a weight issue, then your grains and your sugars together are a bit of a addictive combination, and so they are very much meant to be in moderation, and if you can, because they can be very moreish, but just special occasion dessert that's got lots of fruit in it. So.
Okay, so we forgot that. So 1 drop of cinnamon oil is going to go in the spoon, and I've got butter, because we forgot to show you this. I'm going to mix that and kind of drizzle this on here, so that you're finishing with cinnamon oil, but I want to mix it really well, and just a little bit over the top. It doesn't have to be much. And that would be right when it came out of the oven. So you're just adding a little, or you could, well, this is kind of hard because it's been sitting there for there you go.
So we'll wait for this one?
Yeah,
that's a great
idea. There you go.
Yeah.
But now I'd really love to show you that if we can get everything together. So, including a blender. Can you guys still see well, I'll just do it here and then we'll run it. So,
what are you doing now?
The coconut, the dressing. So we're gonna use some fresh mint. Yeah. A little bit of citrus, which we've already got some cut here. Go for it. Yeah. Just do this way because I'm faster.
So store-bought dressings are pretty toxic, unfortunately, and salad without a dressing is not a very great experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not very exciting.
And salad dressings, you have the potential to make them very therapeutic. With garlic and herbs and good oils and a nice vinegar. That combination is amazing. Also, that combination over your salad actually improves the absorption of the nutrients in the salad.
Drop of agave to taste, because this is going to be kind of a coconutty. Doesn't have to be, it looks like I only use coconut, but we decided that's what, so I'm going to use that as my liquid.
We had a coconut theme.
Yeah, we could have done I have organic. I'm really lucky that Absolute Organic, I'm also their ambassador. So I have many. I know, well, I can cook. I have many products, so I love using that. They have a mayo that's brilliant if you eat eggs, and that makes a delicious dressing. And it's so fast, like 2 minutes.
Is this one in your recipe book?
It is. There's a coconut citrus one. It goes along with the coleslaw. Super duper coleslaw, which we could show a picture of if you want. So I'm just putting a bunch of herbs in here, a little bit of salt, probably a half a cup. I'm not giving you all the measurements because we're going to run out of time in a second. A little bit of lime oil because it's brilliant. It's one of my favorite oils, like 3 drops. That will not be too much for me. It's great in mocktails. I did an internet show the other day, and we made mocktails. Instead of margaritas, I called them mockaritas. And we used lime, and they've become our new favorite summer cocktail. Oh, and this is supposed to have orange in it. Okay. Well, here we go.
We've got 2 minutes, Kate.
Okay. Well,
no pressure.
Anyway, that would have had orange in it. And you just blend it up, and you have a salad dressing. We tried to shove too much into this segment, so there we go. Okay. Well, there you go.
Switch it on.
There you go. So anyway, that didn't work to show you. Did you have fun today?
Well, thanks everyone. I'm just going to check the questions, see if there's anything we can wrap up with in terms of questions. How long does the salad keep for, Mike?
Salad dressing, at least a week. At least a week. If they're an oil. Hi. If they're an oil dressing, you can keep them for longer. Depends on how many herbs. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they last quite a long time. So
yeah.
Give it a go.
Yeah, this does not look like salad dressing because I give up. We've got another.
So food isn't the primary purpose of food isn't to be therapeutic. It's not, even though it is medicine, that's not why we eat. We eat for joy. We eat for pleasure. We eat for flavor. We eat for company and companionship and celebration. And it's actually, the flavorful foods are often the healthiest, with the deep, rich, natural flavors of good, wholesome food, particularly stuff that you've grown yourself or is organic. And so we hope that we've inspired you tonight to get back in the kitchen and give the oils a go.
Yes. And you can freeze a crumble before you bake it. So, and pull it out ahead of time when you're having company.
Yeah.
And we're going to eat this chicken the second we get off air.
So thank you very much, everyone. Good night. If there's some questions there we haven't answered, maybe I'll be able to get onto Facebook and answer some for you. So
thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be coming to a city near you.